It's the most important pick for President-elect Donald Trump's economic agenda. Now it appears Trump is having second thoughts about his Treasury options. The Treasury Secretary acts as the president's closest economic advisor and is fifth in the presidential line of succession. The person who holds this cabinet post will play a key role in helping Trump carry out his agendas on tax cuts and tariffs. The president-elect's search for a Treasury Secretary is expanding this week after reports of infighting in Trump's camp over the selection. Lutnick and Scott Bessent have been floated as the final two candidates, but are now joined by two more names, Marc Rowan and Warsh. Cantor Fitzgerald CEO Lutnick is Trump's transition co-chair and has had a big say in how Trump's cabinet has shaped up so far. The two have known each other for decades, and Lutnick fundraised for Trump during a critical part of the campaign. He's also a big proponent of Trump's tariff policies.
Tariffs are an amazing tool by the president to use. They're an amazing tool, but he understands, don't tariff stuff we don't make, right? If we don't make it and you want to buy it, I don't want to put the price up there. It's pointless, but use tariffs to build in America. If we want to make it in America, tariff it, or if we're competing with it, tariff it. But you got to remember, we need to protect the American worker. Finally, someone's going to protect the American worker.
But will he get his desired post of Treasury Secretary? The New York Times reports Lutnick has gotten on Trump's nerves lately, with Trump privately expressing frustration that Lutnick has been hanging around him too much and manipulating the transition process for his own ends. He has the public backing of Elon Musk as a change maker who says another frontrunner, Scott Bessent, would be business as usual, which is driving America bankrupt.
I've been in the investment business 35 years, and Donald Trump is the most sophisticated leader on economics that I've met.
Scott Bessent is the founder and CEO of the hedge fund Key Square Group and a key economic advisor to Trump during the 2024 campaign.
This is what Donald Trump said about you. He's a nice-looking guy and one of the most brilliant men on Wall Street. You guys have kind of hit it off over the last few months.
Well, I'm in violent agreement with President Trump on that.
But it's the jockeying for Treasury Secretary that's gotten violent, at least metaphorically. An anonymous source told the New York Times the battle between Lutnick and Bessent is a knife fight, with Lutnick as the primary aggressor. Investment manager Dan Loeb appeared to back Bessent as the better choice for markets. But now at least two more choices have entered the fray.
I think this administration has a remarkable chance to really pivot the country, to take advantage of all the inherent positives that we have.
Apollo Global Management CEO Marc Rowan is a new face in the race, but does he want the job? According to the Wall Street Journal, Trump aides have reached out to the Wall Street billionaire to gauge his interest. The Times says Trump wants someone big for the role and has made clear he's impressed with Rowan. If the offer doesn't entice, there's another candidate with whom Trump has more history. Trump once considered former Federal Reserve Governor Warsh as a potential Fed chair before choosing Jay Powell, a choice he has long lamented.
When times were tough, what did the Federal Reserve say? They went to Congress and said, please spend more. So they acted asymmetrically.
Yes.
They said, please spend. That's the big mistake you can make. Well, if you're going to get into the fiscal business, when you're running these kinds of deficits at a time of relative peace and relative prosperity, you have to open your mouth the other way, too. You cannot have fiscally responsible economic policy and irresponsible monetary policy. When one policy is irresponsible, so is the other. And that's the fix we're in, and we need to get out of it.
Warsh will likely be interviewed for the Treasury post, but has also been raised as someone who could potentially replace Powell as chair of the Federal Reserve when his seat is up in 2026. According to reports, Trump is expected to invite potential Treasury picks to interview at Mar-a-Lago this week. But given Trump's uncertainty over the role, even this Final Four may not be locked in. For Straight Arrow News, I'm Simone Del Rosario.